Hey everybody, it's Chris Eads, and online is Wootini here with another Gay Gamer video podcast. Lots to talk about, so I'll try to not ramble too much, but no promises. First, I saw a couple movies. As I mentioned in the last episode, I went to see Jurassic World Rebirth in 3D. And the 3D was actually pretty good. It was better than the last one, Dominion. But the movie was still the same, whatever. See, I loved the original Jurassic Park, and I thought the Lost World was fantastic up until the end when they brought the T-Rex to San Diego, and it ran rampant, but it wasn't scary. They did it for laughs, and it was annoying, and I was like, come on, man. So when they did the Jurassic World movies, like, in the second one, they bring all these dinosaurs to the regular world, and then they get loose. So then I was like, yes, this is where we get what I wanted, which is people living in fear because there's dinosaurs everywhere. And that's awesome. Except it wasn't. It was very subdued. And then in this one, they take it to, they're too realistic with it. They're like, oh yeah, well, they obviously can't live in our world because, pollution and the oxygen levels and the temperature and whatever. So they only live on islands around the equator. How they get there, I don't know, but whatever. Life finds a way. So basically, it's not dinosaurs attacking people, it's people going to the dinosaurs, so you have to find a reason for the people to go to the dinosaurs, either purposefully or accidentally, so that they can then try to survive. So basically, Scarlett Johansson is leading this team of mercenaries and a nerd, Jonathan Bailey, he's not very good, but he's just this like dinosaur nerd who wants, who's there as an advisor. They're there to like get blood samples from the biggest dinosaurs for a pharmaceutical company to use to create a new heart medicine. And they get mixed up with a family, a father and his two daughters, and one of his daughters' layabout boyfriend, who are on a sailing trip in the area, and they encounter a dinosaur and barely survive. Everyone ends up on the island, and it takes way too long to get there. They spend way too long trying to establish characters, like Scarlett Johansson's mercenary, trying to give her like feelings and a heart and a backstory, and it's like, no one cares. Get to the dinosaurs. Once they get to the island, then it's actually a lot of fun. And they get separated, so you have the mercenaries doing their mission and getting the blood samples, and then you have this family desperately struggling to survive as they make their way to like the main complex on this island where they were doing this research and stuff, where they can call for help. And that leads to one of the best sequences, which was this terrific scene with an inflatable life raft and a T-Rex that was really very good. But then everyone comes together in the end, and it gets stupid. Because, like the previous Jurassic World movies, the dinosaurs aren't enough, so they have to create these mutated dinosaurs that are scarier and more impressive. And so at the end, you have these like velociraptors with wings. None of them look as stupid as those flying T-Rex heads from the first Jurassic World, but it's still kind of stupid. It's like, what's wrong with the velociraptors? They're scary enough. And then, oh my god, like he goes and redoes the kitchen scene from Jurassic Park with these winged raptor things in a convenience store. And it's literally the same scene, except not as good. And I'm like, what are you doing? Why are you trying to remake iconic scenes when you're not going to be able to do them as well? But whatever. There's a bunch of that in this movie. A lot of references and stuff and redoing of things where you're like, no, don't do that. But then the ending, there's this big, I think it's called a D-Rex, and I think the D stands for dumb ass, because it looks ridiculous. It looks stupid. It's big as a house, and I'm just like, it's not scary. Like the T-Rex is scary because you know it and you understand it. This thing is just stupid with big weird teeth and like multiple arms, and it's just like why did you make this, you know? So the whole thing ends up just being kind of stupid. And I don't like the mutated dinosaurs because they're not dinosaurs. They're just monsters. And if you just want to make a monster movie, just make a fucking monster movie. Don't make it that's not Jurassic World / Park. Like, no. Like, those aren't dinosaurs. So that really irked me. So, like, there's a lot in here to enjoy when they're, like, surviving on the island with the dinosaurs, and there's some exciting action set pieces, but then the ending with the mutant dinosaurs is just stupid because the mutant dinosaurs are stupid and annoying, and I don't like them. So, like, make the dinosaur movies about the dinosaurs. So I'm really hoping, I think it did well, so I'll probably make another one, but I really would like them to just stop, because the mutant dinosaurs, like, either just make the movie about the dinosaurs, or just make it all the mutant shit, and then it'll be fine. But the dinosaur stuff is so much better than the mutant crap that I'm just like, just do the dinosaurs. Anyway, I said I wasn't going to ramble, and I'm rambling. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Anyway, I also went to the movies this weekend, and I saw Eddington, which is the new Ari Aster movie, which is a satire about a small town, Eddington in New Mexico, where Joaquin Phoenix is the sheriff, and Pedro Pascal is the mayor, and they butt heads because Joaquin Phoenix doesn't want to obey mask mandates, and he thinks that Pedro Pascal's a jerk because they both have a history with, he has a history with Joaquin Phoenix's wife, played by Emma Stone, and there's all this drama, and it is a satire, and the problem that I had with it was that it's way too long. It's like 2.5 hours long, and it's too long, and it's trying to do too much. I think that if he'd refined the script a little first and like got it down to like a just shy of 2 hours, it maybe could have been a more focused and effective satire. But it's tackling so many. There's COVID, there's Black Lives Matter, there's George Floyd, there's Antifa. It's just all of this stuff, and it just becomes this big soup. It's very funny. I did laugh out loud a bunch of times, mostly for the little white teenagers who are hilarious with their privilege and knowing that they have this privilege and saying, "Oh, I wish I didn't have this privilege." And it's hilarious, honestly. But it just spirals out of control at the end for the climax. It just becomes insane, and it's like, what is even happening? This is bonkers. And then it just sort of like lands a little flat at the end with the epilogue and stuff, and I'm just like, okay. So it just tried to do too much, and I think that there was a more effective satire in there in a shorter version of this movie, maybe. And I will say, this is ridiculous, but right from the start, one of the plot lines is that the mayor wants to help this company build a data center just outside of town, and then some of the people are like, no, it's gonna like hurt the town, it's gonna use up all our water and energy and whatever. So but he wants to build this data center, and the data center is like, it's like golden something Magikarp, and it's actually Magikarp, like the Pokemon. And every time they put up the sign and I saw Magikarp, I chuckled, because I don't know if that's on purpose, if Ari Aster is a Pokemon fan, I don't know, but it made me laugh, and it was funny. So I can't really recommend it. I'd say wait for streaming, but it's A24, so I don't know where it'll stream. But it wasn't that great. It was fine. As for games, I have continued to play Fitness Boxing 3. Last week, I did have a couple of days where I was just like, I'm not feeling it, and I took a day off. So it was like 5 out of the 7 days. I didn't work out every single morning. But I have tried to stick with it, and I've basically just been unlocking clothing for the trainers. But then over this past week, I did unlock like a couple of new exercises, and then at one point I unlocked a new trainer, which was surprising to me. But I have been just sticking with Hero mostly, because I like him and he's cute, and I was like, I can box with you and that's fine. And my original plan was to just stick with one trainer and unlock all their stuff. And one morning, Hero shows up with this ridiculously gay haircut and outfit saying, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm late. I was at dance class, but I can still box in this." And I'm like, okay. He looked ridiculous, so that was a new look I unlocked for him. But then there are daily and weekly missions that you can accomplish to get more coins to buy more outfits and stuff for the trainers and stuff. So, like, you can use the coins to unlock stuff. So, the daily missions a couple of times this week were like, work out with Bernardo, work out with so-and-so. And I was just like, no, I'm going to stick with Hero because I wanted to unlock all of his stuff first. And I would do it one by one by one by one and go through each trainer. But they kept saying work out with somebody else. So finally, it was like, work out with Sophia. So I was like, fine, I'll work out with Sophia. So, I unlocked a little bit of clothing for her, but I only did a couple of days. But I feel like I'll probably end up mixing it up. She was fine. Her voice acting was fine. And it's actually, I think, because if you might recall last episode, I was talking about how I wanted some more variety. I think this is a better way to do it, alternating between the trainers, because they have different phrases, it's different voices, and it does, they'll say different things. She doesn't say, "You make my head spin," so that's nice. It's like you get different phrases and stuff. So I think that helps keep it a little more interesting. And I have unlocked a couple of new exercises, but because I'm letting the game choose the exercises for me, I didn't actually, I think I've done like one of them. This morning I did some kind of like biceps training exercise that, oh wow, like I feel like I'm going to be sore tomorrow because it actually really it worked each arm separately, like really hardcore, and it was really fast. And after I finished, she was like, "Normally we'd end here, but do you want to do an EX version of that?" And I was like, no, because that was already fast enough, and I can't even imagine trying to do it faster because I'm just going to hurt myself. So no thank you, let's just stretch and call it a day. Also on the Switch, I was able to finish finally the Last Campfire. There was, in the final third area, there's like 3 main areas that you work your way through with 3 campfires, and you collect all of the forlorn for the campfire. There was this one, I couldn't figure out how to get past a certain obstacle, and then finally I realized what I was doing wrong, and so I was able to get all over the map, and I found all of the forlorns. I did not find all of the Wanderer's Diary. Throughout the game, there are these little stone chests. Some are partially hidden, some are extremely well hidden. And I found one, and I thought, I found a flower, and I was like, oh, there was a skeleton who I remember Ember remarked, "Oh, this poor skeleton without even a flower to mark his grave." So I took that flower, and I had to backtrack. I couldn't remember where he was because it had been a few days. So I had to backtrack, and I eventually found the skeleton, gave him the flower, and I got a stone chest appeared, and I was able to get another piece of the diary. And then I thought, wait. And I looked in my inventory because I was like, can I get all of these pieces? And I was like 4 behind. I missed 4. And I'm like, well, there's no fast travel or anything. So I'm like, I'm not going back to the first. You can go backwards and backtrack all the way to the second area or the first area, but you have to do it manually. And I was like, that's going to take me like 2 days. No, thank you. I'm not interested in backtracking to get these because I'm also playing it on the Switch, so there's no trophy for it or anything. So I'll just forget about those few pieces of diary fragment pages. But I did get to the final campfire, and the spirit said, do you want to end your journey? And I selected, I want to help others. And he was like, nope, you've helped everyone. It's time for you to go and do your journey, finish your journey. And you meet another Ember, and then he goes forlorn, so you have to fix him. And it was this final puzzle, and I thought, one final puzzle before the end of the game, because there was a bunch of cutscenes and then there was this, and I was like, one final cutscene, one final puzzle, and this will be a puzzle that'll combine all the other puzzles and be the puzzle to end all puzzles, everything that you've learned throughout the game, all the different kinds of puzzles, and you're going to combine them into this one puzzle. Except that's not what it was, and it was just actually stupid easy, and then the game was over, and I was like, oh, okay. And I do feel, again, okay, I went back to my original opinion about the story, which is that it's totally purgatory, and you are helping free these embers from purgatory so that they can move on into the light or whatever. And they're continuing their journey, but they're not going home. They're going to the other side, I'm convinced. It's all very vague, whatever. The graphics are beautiful. The story is fine. It's narrated by this like French woman, so it's quite nice. It's very soothing. It's very chill. If you like puzzle games, and this is a decent one. I still don't think it's great because, as I said previously, the puzzles, they don't ramp up in difficulty, and like that final puzzle was just so simple, and it wasn't like a combination of all the other kinds of puzzles like I thought it would be. Like the puzzles, it's like they're mostly like super easy and obvious, with like 3 or 4 that I had to look up online because I didn't know what I was doing. So there's just like, it's like super chill, easy, with like these random difficulty spikes here and there 3 or 4 times. I don't know that if you're a super puzzle game fan, maybe $15 is okay, but again, the puzzles aren't super challenging most of the time, so I'm not really sure. But if you can get it on sale for like under $5 or something, then it's a nice little game. I did enjoy it. I mean, I only paid $1.50 for it, so you know, obviously I got my money's worth. But yeah, cheap. Go cheap. On the PlayStation side of things, I did finish the Star Path in Disney Dreamlight Valley. I also did the Cheshire Cat's final friendship quest because I've just been ignoring that. So now I'm basically just like slowly building Peter's friendship, but I'm not going out of my way to get the extra gifts and stuff. I'm just like, well, it's fine. I'll probably finish that when the new Star Path starts in a few weeks. And I've also been able to, so I was able to play some more Infinity Nikki and finish the main storyline quest for this Blue Tears season thing, where I finally worked my way through all of this platforming and nonsense, and I got to the ghost of this giant snake, and then revealed the story of the giant snake and her lesbian lover, who the game is like, they were such close friends, this woman, this ranger, and this snake thing. And I'm like, yeah, close friends. That snake totally turned human form at some point, and there was shenanigans. I'm just saying. They were really, really close, I get the impression. But I did that, and then I did some of the side quest stuff and side missions, and I did there's these escort missions that you do where there's like these specific ghosts. There are 6 specific ghosts scattered around the area that you escort. You have to stay with them holding a light. You stay with them as they work their way towards a goal marker. And you stay with them until you get to that goal marker. And the first few were just like simple platforming things, and then they add enemies into the mix, and then the final one was like super annoying and hard, and I had to do it like 6 or 7 times, but I did finish it, and that was enough to get me enough points for the random stuff to do, that I got enough points that I was able to get the complete free outfit for this season. I just thought the dress was really pretty, so I was like, let me do the side stuff and see if I can get this outfit, and I did. And it's lovely. So I'm wearing that now. There's still other side quest things to do randomly around the world, but I don't need to do them because I've already got the outfit. I would just be doing them for like bonus items and stuff, and that's not as important to me. So I may or may not, I'm not going to like desperately try to finish every single side quest before the end of this season, but like I'll probably do a few. You know, I'll do a little bit here, a little bit there. Because the other thing that I did is because I finished the Last Campfire, I was able to go back to Dragon Age the Veilguard. And I was a little concerned. The first thing I did was I turned it on, and I was thankfully in the lighthouse where it was like, select a mission. And I was like, okay, good, I'm not in the middle of a mission. I had enough presence of mind to not save in the middle of a mission. But then I was like, all right, let me just open up the settings and look at the control layout again, so I know what button does what. And I'm like, okay. And then I went and did like one of the character side missions where you like go and do a little something with the character to like boost their bond with you. So that way it was just like some minor combat, nothing too severe. but it was fine. And then it sort of like through sense memory, it came back to me, and I was able to remember like how to throw my shield and then volley it back and forth a few times to hit the enemy multiple times, whatever. So it's fine. And then I got completely, and so that was good. And then I got sucked back into the story, and I'm all like, okay. And so now I'm doing all these character stuff. I did a main story mission where I ended up fighting this like ridiculously hard boss, and I was like, what the fuck, am I not ready for that? Like, what's going on? And I actually, after I had done it, I actually beat it by the skin of my teeth, because I had the wrong party. I should not have had the party I had. I didn't have the right magic to use against these enemies, so it was harder than it should have been, and still it was a lot. And I went and I looked up that particular mission, and they were like, on IGA, they were like, go here, do this, do that. Don't go in here yet because there's a big giant boss fight that you're not ready for yet. And I'm like, well, I wasn't, but I still did it. So yay me. But yeah, I'm getting back into Dragon Age Veilguard because and I looked at the walkthrough and the list of missions, and I think I'm just over the halfway point of the whole story, which is good. So I am hopeful that I will be able to finish it in time for October 2nd when Ghost of Yote comes out, because everything stops for that. And I'm going to be so into that, I can't even tell you. So I will shut up now because this was way longer than it was meant to be, because like I said, I rambled. So sorry, come back next episode and I'll ramble on some more. Bye!